everyone, and welcome to How Did You Show. My guest today is a very good friend of mine, a wonderful Peter Juhasz, who we have a lot to learn from. He's going to share with us today how did he and how does he found investors via using social media. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Lenka. Hi, everybody. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate
it. It's really nice to have you on the show with me today. So Peter, can you tell us a little bit about who is Peter and what is your strategy for those who don't know Peter?
So I'm Peter. I'm living in Birmingham and we're working in Birmingham. We have a deal packaging business, sourcing business, property sourcing business in Birmingham. We mainly source and manage service accommodation in Birmingham, rent to service accommodation. We have over 20 apartments in city center. And I'm from Hungary originally. I'm living here for 6 years now, and we're doing property business as much as we can.
Amazing. So, how long have you been in the property?
Property is a third year, but like a main job, almost like a main job. It's in a 1.5. Let's say 1 year. When literally every day. That's my main priority. I think the property is the best. As for me, it's definitely the best.
Right. So you just genuinely like property investments. You just fall in love with the industry.
Yes. I love property. I really love property.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. Yeah, you need to have a passion, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. So how did you get into property then? So how did it all start? So you were here, you said you're being in England for 6 years and roughly 3 years you're in the property. So how did it all start?
Yeah. It all started because in my background, back in my country, I had few properties and we did few flips and all this stuff, but it wasn't the property my main thing. And when I came here, it was one of the main thing I wanted a few property, build up my own portfolio, but I didn't know how. Actually, I wasn't even speaking English, so at least just very, very, very low level. So I had to learn a lot of things. I had to work like any other people. And slowly, I started to read books and listen to podcasts and started to get in social media maybe in 1.5 year ago, 2 years ago. So it wasn't too long ago when I really started the property. In the 3 years, then I just started to learn the market here. Talk to people, talk to agents, and read books. When I really started, it was in 1.5 when I really started to go to the people, to talk to the agents and getting deals and all this stuff. I set up my company, website, and started to do like a main job.
Right, I see. And did you start it as a deal packager or did you start it as a service accommodation?
I started as a deal packager and sourcing. Because I believe whether you have a lot of money and you want to invest in property or you haven't got the money, but you want to build up a property portfolio, you're going to need to source property. Sooner or later, you're going to need to know how to source property, how to talk to agent, how to make a deal for yourself, for your investor. So that's why I choose the path as a sourcer and a deal packager. So we're mainly working with investors, and I learned a lot about them, how to source property, literally off-market properties or through agents or private landlords. So I learned a lot, and so eventually you're gonna need to do this sooner or later. That's why I choose this way.
Right. That's amazing. So now I just, for the beginners, because obviously this podcast is mainly for the property beginners, the beginners who don't know what deal packaging is. So they basically, in a very simple way to explain that, you look for properties, you source the property, you found an investor, or now way around, investor tells you what they're looking for, you found the perfect property for them, and you're basically the middleman. And you just take the fee for sourcing. That's the simplest way to explain what deal packaging is. However, there's also could be deal packaging fully because you could do sourcing. That deal packaging is that when you also, let's say, it needs a refurb and you manage all refurb and etc. and you sell the property, investors are fully done. So yeah, just
Exactly.
for those beginners out there. That's a
Exactly.
fascinating story. This is actually, you and I, we met on the deal packaging course, did we? Wasn't it
Exactly.
impressive?
Exactly.
Okay, so obviously you are, as a deal packager, you are also a service accommodation provider. But our topic today for this episode is that how do you find investors via social media? Because that's what I know about you, that's what you're good at. So I thought that beginners might benefit from listening to your story.
Yeah, thank you very much for your compliments. And yes, I'm really happy to help to people. To be honest, a lot of message I receive every week regarding like how I started and if I can any help. And I'm always trying to answer to as much as I can to people, but sometimes I miss. So I apologize for everybody. I will answer to everybody. So thank you for asking. Yeah, it's not easy when you start your journey. You definitely have to have the passion you mentioned, enthusiasm like you have, because you have as well, because I can see the same thing from you. So you need to have this passion, because when you start and you haven't got too much money to buy your own properties, and you haven't got an established company, the good reputation and the good knowledge, everybody's asking the same question: how the investor is going to trust me if I haven't got nothing in my background? And I always say it's definitely not easy. However, if you have enough knowledge, because you educated yourself, regardless is like a course, online course, books, podcasts, mentorships, whatever you do, or if you do all of them together, when you have enough knowledge, I believe you can start to talk to the investors, and you can start to offer your service. So what you can offer and what you're going to do for them, because most of these investors we're talking about, they haven't got the time. So even if they have a knowledge, even if they have a money, they still haven't got the time for you. So if you want to source a deal, you're going to need to go and knock on a lot of doors. You're going to need to go to the agents. You're going to need to do a lot of things. And if you can explain this to the investor, what the service you're going to provide and how is it going to benefit them, all your service you can give them a refer work, the maintenance work, the management you can do after, because a deal, you can close a deal easy, but most of the investors want you to do the full work after, so like a hands-off management, hands-off investment, sorry. So most of the investors want hands-off. So you're not enough just to source the property and package the property, the deal for an investor, but you also going to need to make sure you have a right team, you have a right resources to manage the property after for the investor. And that's not easy. However, as I said, if you have enough passion, if you have enough knowledge, and if you know how to position yourself on social media, you can go to the networking events and you can go to the social media. That's the two easiest way. To be honest, I miss the networking part, and maybe my laziness, maybe because I had too much things to do. But I seen other people that are doing really well. A lot of contacts from networking events. In my way, it was a social media, so I positioned myself as a property sourcer and deal packager, and I literally post everything on social media. If I go to the viewing, if I talk to the agent, I made a post. If I had any success, I did a post. If I had any good idea or I had a good new team member, I posted on social media. So the people, it's not first day. It's going to take a while, but sooner or later, one investor is going to come. Oh, Peter or whatever you name. I really like your job. Really like what you do. Then please, can you find me a deal like this? But it takes a lot of time. So you're going to need to posting on social media consistently, and not just on one. If I can name it, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I use this 3 channel I use. And one very important thing, you can post as yourself, as your personal name, like a from your personal account, but you also need to make sure you have a business account on Facebook and all over these platforms. And my way, first day I created a company and did a website, and also I hired VA, a good VA. So not everybody do for first day. I did it from first day. I didn't have any income from property, so I paid from my pocket, my own pocket and my day job to afford the VA, but they can help you a lot. They can do a very good content marketing. And if your business on all over the social media, posting and do a content, and if you do posting as your personal from property groups, let's say from your personal account, and if you tell people what you do and your company building the name and brand as well, sooner or later you're going to find the investor.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, as you said, that's a lot. It takes time. It takes consistency.
Exactly. That's a good word.
But it's like absolutely great advice you're giving there to the beginners. Is that if you don't have anything to show the investors, if you don't have any property, you can show your knowledge, you can show your passion. Exactly what you said. Now you have any idea, or you think about something, or you have questions, just post it out there. Even if you don't going out for a real networking events, I mean, the face-to-face one.
Yeah.
Online, you can actually reach thousands of more people. Like there's so many Facebook pages you can join. Facebook groups. So
exactly,
groups, local ones or international ones, or there's so many. So yeah, that's very, very good advice. And now this is very interesting as well that you said that you had VA, which is for the beginners, that's mean virtual assistant. It's like a personal assistant, but over internet, so they can live anywhere in the world. You said that you have yours from the day one, and that's very interesting as well, because we know that if there is something you don't enjoy doing, and you give it to somebody else, you can truly focus on the growth of your business, because you want to scale and you enjoy doing other things. So I completely see the logic behind it, and that's brilliant, because I can see how fast you're moving as well. So obviously it must be working well for you.
Yeah, I think it did work. Yeah, so you're right. It's a bit risky investment when you do it first, and you literally because if I can mention, to set up a sourcing company, you need to be regulated as well, and you're gonna need to spend, let's say, roughly £1,000 plus the website. If you haven't got this money, I would recommend just start with a landing page like a MailChimp, and create something yourself. Or if you have some fun, hire a VA, a virtual assistant, and they're gonna do it for you. But definitely you're gonna need to be look like a bit serious. I mean, as your company. So I'm not saying show more than you are, but you're gonna need to look like a professional company. And register with all the you need to register with everything. So it's going to cost you at least £1,000 to be a professional sourcer. And after, if you want to spend on website and all this stuff and hiring a VA, it's going to cost you more. But it's still not a big amount of money. So if you have a bit saving, or maybe you can use credit card or whatever you want to use, you can afford it, I think. And if you haven't got the money to hire a VA, then just start to do it yourself, and it's going to take more time from you. You're not going to be able to focus on your things, which you mentioned is very important. I could go to the agent every day and call them 5, 10, 15 of them because the VA did their job. If I have to do everything myself, it's gonna slow you down. You're gonna get there eventually, but it's gonna slow you down.
Absolutely. It is a great advice, as we were saying, that it's not only that it's going to slow you down, but also if you truly enjoying talking to investors, finding the properties and doing this sort of jobs, the actually closing the deals, that's the word I was looking for, then
exactly
doing something you don't enjoy that much, it is even mentally slowing you down, because you have to think during the day like, oh, I still have to do this, oh, I still have to do that, and it's not that much excitement in it. So it's quite nice. It's a really smart investment, I would say, especially if you are really taking it seriously and you are really going for it as you are. So Yeah.
You need to take it serious if you want to do it. You need to take it serious, and you need to know how much budget you have. And if you have a budget for the V, hiring a V, I would definitely recommend from day one, at least covering the social media, your brand building for company brand building. But if you have more a bit, then they can help you in a lot of other tasks as well.
You're making me think that I should get one now.
You still haven't got it. You still haven't got it. Have you got VA?
No, that's what I mean. I still don't have one, and then now I have a YouTube channel and a podcast and this and that, and yeah, maybe I should get one.
I think you should.
Yes.
However, it's amazing. It's amazing that your enthusiasm and energy. If I can tell, when I see you on social media, it's amazing how many things you can manage in one story together in the same time. How many things you can manage. I believe if you would hire someone, you could achieve even more and even fast results.
Oh, that is so kind of you. That's so sweet of you to say that. I really appreciate that. And you actually know what you made me think. I really should. I'm going to make a note for myself. Hire a VA, and I'm going to put that on my to-do list. I should look into this. You made me think this one. Thank you.
No worries.
And thanks for the lovely words. Okay, Peter. So we covered how what sort of steps you're taking, into being on social media if you have no experience and no actual property. So now when you got the investors coming to you, how do you maintain those relationships? What do you do, to stay in touch, or do you meet them, or do you go for coffee, or what do you do?
It's a good question, very good question. You can do a lot of things. Most of my investors living far from me, so most of my investors, they never even see the investment. I mean, they never even see literally their flat or apartment or a house or whatever I source them. They absolutely trusting me and my company, and we just keep in touch on WhatsApp or sometimes a Zoom meeting or things like this. So we're looking after their property, and they know we're looking after their property, and especially these times during this lockdown is a very, very hard period, and I became even more close to with my investors, literally almost like day-to-day conversations. I'm always keen on answer. So if they send a text or WhatsApp or whatever, I'm gonna answer within seconds if I can. So I always try to be available for them, and try to looking after them, try to make them calm. So literally, we had a lot of properties empty when this all crack came. And we have had 1 week, 2 weeks. Eventually, we sorted everything for them, and they were very happy. Honestly, I received a lot of positive reviews now during this lockdown. I was thinking everything is going to go bad, and everything is going to be bad. But honestly, I received more positive reviews than before during this time. Yeah. So the best thing is you definitely need to go for coffee if you can. I recommend to do it. If you can't because everybody busy, then just keep maintaining. Just send an email, just send a text at least once a week. Tell them everything is okay, everything is going well. If any problem, straight away you need to let them know. But also you're gonna deal with the issue. And honestly, even if something goes wrong, they will appreciate it.
Yeah. That's a great advice. Yeah, absolutely. So now I would also say that, when you're saying that maintaining the relationships with your investors, just again, for the beginners out there, even with friends you meet via social media, people you start talking to, people you start commenting on their posts, etc., keep maintaining those relationships. Like even just you and me, okay, yeah, we have met. We are one of those examples. We have met, but we kept in touch on social media. And now we're having a podcast episode together. And it's like, you just never know, like who will be your friend, or who can help you one day, or who can help each other. It's just maintain the relationship, any relationships out there. Whoever you click with, stay in touch. Just stay in touch.
Exactly. Obviously, you're not gonna able to keep in touch with everybody who is texting you, because when you're growing, a lot of people are gonna texting you. But you definitely gonna need to try to get in touch with most of the people, because as you said, it's a kind of networking as well. You don't need to go to somewhere definitely just because you want to networking people. You can network in social media very well in these times. However, all my people, like teachers, from progressive and all this stuff, they always say go to networking events, which is honestly, is a great thing. I didn't have a time, as I mentioned, but you can networking very well on social media.
Right. Exactly. Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you, so what would be your free top tips for the beginners about free top tips from Peter about how to find investors on social media?
Okay. So one of my main tip is posting. Post everything you just in your mind, anything you can just find out, posting your viewings, posting your plan, day plan, your routine, you source on online, anything relating to your property and even your personal life, people will get to know you. So posting. Second thing is, I would definitely my best tip, I believe, is two best tip is join the Facebook groups. The power of the Facebook groups, not too many people talking about this, but it's a huge. You can get a huge knowledge from there, even if you just join to conversations and just see other people what they're talking about, the news the people are putting there, and you can find a lot of investors as well. You can find a lot of friends. You can find a lot of contacts as well. So the power of the Facebook groups is huge. And the third advice from me, if you're starting out, is hire a VA. As I already told you, it's a huge benefit, priceless. They're going to help you a lot. Brand building, social media, posting, managing your business, bookkeeping, data scrapping, calling agent, anything, they're going to help you.
Fantastic. Great tips. Thank you very much for sharing all those. Every single tip was very, very, it's very important and very, what's the word I'm looking for? Important.
Priceless.
Yeah. And now, Peter, so when you said before that you started reading books, when you start thinking about getting into property more. So what sort of books would you recommend beginners?
To be honest, I have a big issue. I always forget the names of the books, but I remember a few. I would definitely recommend. I know everybody is saying in social media, it maybe is boring now, but Rich Dad Poor Dad is really it's a really good thing to read, and it's a lot of truth in that book. Definitely, like from mindset, mentality, business, and all this stuff. So it's definitely recommend. Other book,
just for the people who don't know what that book is and from who. So it's called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki is still one of the richest man in Miami, and he is he did also many books afterwards, like a cash flow quadrant, for example. We also coincidentally, hold on a second. Something. Look what I got right here, actually. Cash flow board game.
Oh, it's a really good. I heard about this. I never tried. I heard about this. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I can imagine.
You guys would love it.
Yeah, it's a great advice. A lot of great advice from that book regarding finance and cash flow and liabilities and all this stuff. Is really good thing to know. Second book is Think and Grow Rich. I believe it's more for mindset and Napoleon. Yeah. So my mindset is okay. I believe it was always okay because I always had much bigger plans, which I anytime I could achieve. So my mindset was okay, but you always can improve your mindset. And especially if you haven't got a good mindset, you definitely need to read this book. It's a Napoleon. What did you say? I'm really struggling the names. Yeah. Napoleon Hill. Yeah. That's the one.
That's the one. Amazing. Okay, so we got the Richard Podat and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And for those who want to watch something, for those who like either Netflix or I don't know, what is your favorite? Do you have any favorite either movie or documentary or series or anything which helps you with either mindset or property in general? Or
To be honest, for me, the most of the things helped. If I can mention more books, is I really like the Normally deal with the Kevin McDonald.
All right.
If you wanna go to property and source properties, and you wanna learn strategies, it's definitely a good book. Like how to find properties, how to source properties, and how you structure your deals, and also generally about investments. My favorite all-time investor is Warren Buffett. I learned a lot of things from him, and his things is apply for any investment, not just property investment, any investment. So he's all-time best for me. Regarding so I rather recommend podcast than movies. I love Netflix, but I always just watching. If I have a time to watch Netflix, I like my movies and my series. I don't want to mention because maybe some of the people doesn't. So I would definitely recommend books and podcasts. If you're commuting, if you're traveling, if you're driving, and listening to good podcasts, learning from people, if you're want advice from investments generally, or if you're looking for advice for property people, then you can just join and just choose the best audio books as well. I would prefer these things. If it's documentary, I don't even know what I don't usually.
Well,
see.
that's interesting one because I can join you on this one. So now you said because I asked you if you have any interesting something you like watching, and you mentioned Warren Buffett. So Warren Buffett, he used to be the richest man on planet not long ago, and now he's not far anyway.
No, he's fine.
Exactly, he's fine. He's still fine. But what I wanted to say is that on Amazon, there is a documentary called Becoming a Warren Buffett. So for those who want to watch something, you mentioned Warren Buffett, incredible man for many, many, many ways, because of many, many, many things. I mean, so if anybody's interested, go on Amazon, and it's called Becoming a Warren Buffett. Definitely recommend.
Thank you very much. I will do that. I didn't know. Thank you. It's a good advice.
Yeah, you can enjoy it if you like Warren Buffett. It's amazing.
I love it. I love him. He's really good.
Yeah. Enjoy that one then. And then even for when you mentioned the book No Money Down by Kevin McDonald, I love that book as well. Absolutely brilliant book. And that shows you, for the beginners out there, when we say no money down, the strategy is actually none of your own money. So there is a way of how you can get into properties without using any of your own money, which is called no money down, because it actually doesn't cost you anything as such. So obviously that's a completely different topic, but just so they understand a bit more.
Okay, that's good. Thank you for explaining. That's the main thing. If you're just starting out from sourcing, that's a great book. How to source the properties, what strategies you use for finding the deal, finding the property, and also how you can structure the deal the best possible way for yourself, for your investor, or whoever. It's definitely a good book if you want to start in deal packaging.
Oh, Peter, thank you so much for all this advice and for coming on the show today. I'm sure that all the beginners out there, they're gonna learn a lot from you, and they're gonna find a lot of value in this episode. So thank you very much. I personally have a lot to learn from you, and also I have the you just kicking my backside now to actually get a VA, because actually it makes sense. Maybe I will be even more productive than I am.
You see.
Thank you very much for that. So we're gonna wrap it up here. I really enjoyed having you on the show, and now just for those who want to contact you, if anybody wants to contact you, what will be the best way, and what is the name of your company if you want to share, or your website? And I can pop it on there as well, on the video and in the podcast in the comments, but if you want to say it out loud, that will be amazing, please.
No, thank you. My name is Peter Juhasz. You might going to struggling with the pronouncing. If you put my name, that's going to be help a lot. So you can text me on Facebook. You can text me on Instagram, social media everywhere. Or my company is P&A Property Sourcing. That's you can find as a website is a prpropertysourcing.co.uk. And yeah, you can find me. You can text me if you need any help. Just reach out. I'm always happy to help everybody. Sorry if I can't message straight away back. I will later on. So any advice, any help, I will definitely try to help.
Amazing. That's very kind of you. And so I'll definitely make sure I'll leave your comments somewhere so people can contact you if they have any questions or if they want to contact you for any other reason.
I just was going to say the same thing. Thank you very much for having me here and inviting me. It was a pleasure. Because I always see your podcast is very, very good and you're really, really talented. And I wish your shows go so big. So I already feel myself very proud to be here. And thank you for having me here.
Oh, well, that's so kind of you. Thank you. Right, Peter. So have a fantastic rest of the day. And again, thanks so much for coming.
Okay, you too.
Absolute legend. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye. Bye. Oh, thank you.
You know what was just really funny? One thing, I really tried not to laugh. You know, when we were talking about the investors and you said that, Lenka, I always try to make them come and make them come.
Yeah. Yeah.